This is Hannibal from the Hannibal TV.com, and I'm live here. And I heard about how bad this angle that WWE shot at the Performance Center with Tyson Fury and Braun Strowman was. So I had to look it up and watch it. And my God, is it ever horrible? It's worth watching for how bad it is. It's one of the phoniest things I've ever seen, for one thing, but for the second thing, like he hits the ropes, then Braun Strowman mysteriously appears out of nowhere and gives him a shoulder tackle, which is a basic shoulder tackle bump that you see happen in matches all the time. And he lands on his back, doesn't appear to have anything wrong with his ankle from the move, but yet he's holding his ankle and supposedly he can't get up and do anything to Strowman because he's hurt his ankle off of this shoulder tackle. So it's one of the dumbest and lamest things I've ever seen in my life. There's rumors he's making $13 million from Crown Jewel. It's debatable whether that's true or not. Some people are saying, I've heard on the Wrestling Observer Radio, if it is $13 million, they said that it could be $10 million from Saudi Arabia and $3 million from WWE, if that's true. But watching that angle that they did at the Performance Center certainly doesn't make me want to tune into that, especially on a Thursday afternoon on Halloween, one of my favorite days of the year. So yeah, that's worth checking out if you want a good laugh. Apparently, I'm not a gamer anymore. My video game days ended with Super Nintendo, but apparently WWE 2K20 has lots of issues. Someone uploaded a 20-minute video of all the glitches with it, and apparently Sony is offering refunds for anyone who bought the video game digitally. I mean, I don't know why they didn't test this thing more before putting it out. That doesn't make even any sense to me. You always hear about all the wrestlers in WWE now, or the majority of them being big gamers. Why you wouldn't give the game to some of your wrestlers to test out before releasing it, if it's going to have all these glitches, is beyond me. And I've heard that wrestlers who appear in that get paid like $50,000. Like Sid told me he made 50 grand from being in a past video game. Vader also told me that he made 50 grand. So that's a lot of money. The WWE Network is also having lots of issues, specifically on Apple devices. So if anyone has a WWE Network, I don't, but is running into issues, it's not your device. This is a WWE Network wide issue. I guess TMZ asked Triple H about Ronda Rousey's status, and he said she'd be back in WWE at some point. They also asked him about NXT Japan, and he said, quote, "We shall see." I didn't see the AEW show tonight or the NXT show tonight. I was at the gym, and neither show was on at the gym. Apparently, the Nyla Rose match on AEW Dark that was released last night was really bad. I haven't heard any reports saying anything other than it was terrible. AEW is apparently going to work something out with Glow. There might be some cross promotion with AEW and Glow. Hello to Brian Rose. Apparently, CNN Business put out a article on the WWE's stock decline today. The NWA, everyone talks to me about how great this NWA is, but I just checked, and the first episode they put out has just over 500,000 views. The second episode has a little over 200,000 views. And the third episode, as of right now, has about 130,000 views. So for everyone saying how great it is, it seems like less people are watching each episode. I've said it a million times, Nick Aldis is a horrible champion. That's one of the main problems with the show. From what I've seen, and also, as I said, I tried to watch the first episode, and I forced myself through the Nick Aldis promo, and then it was a couple of fat guys in the ring against a couple of jobbers. So that fucking killed me. I couldn't watch any more beyond that. I fast forwarded to the main event. And yeah, I haven't watched it since. The Wrestling Observer Radio has said that a lot of people are complaining about the fake commercials. I did see the one they did with Austin Idol. I think it was the first show. I saw it as a clip on Twitter, I think. And they did this, I guess it was a fake commercial. I thought it was a real commercial about Austin Idol's wrestling school, but I guess they're putting fake commercials into these NWA shows for whatever reason. I don't really get it. Pierre Carl Ouellet, he is wrestling on December 18th, Roosh for the Ring of Honor World title. His contract expires December 1st, but some people assume that he re-signed because he's getting this December 18th title shot. However, he has told me directly that he has not re-signed. He's still in negotiations with multiple companies. So who knows if that's going to play an outcome in the match there that he's going to have with Roosh. He's doing a great job staying relevant for his age. I remember back in 2008 in England with him, how hard he was trying to make it in wrestling again, and everything he had given up. He'd given up a high-paying television job as a TNA commentator in French to only work once a week to go to England and make probably 60 pounds a match and have to drive for like 6 or 7 hours a day, help set up and tear down the ring in a crammed van. I only lasted there. I didn't like it very much. I only lasted there 6 weeks. He lasted a lot longer than me, and nothing came out of it for him at that point. But 10 years later, he's becoming a star again. Ian Skillings, you should wrestle for AEW. Well, I'm not the booker for AEW, and I'm not the owner of AEW. So telling me that is not going to help anything. I would suggest you tweet that to them if you would like to see that. But from what I've seen, they're not that interested in signing larger wrestlers. Someone says the Haku Great North Wrestling match was thumbs up. Well, that match is online now in full free, as well as a 20-minute interview he did with Jeremy Prophet. That is also up for free, and Haku is going to be back in 2020 in Great North Wrestling, teaming with the Barbarian to face the Blood Hunter and Savio Vega. Who is my favorite all-time wrestler? Marco Ben says. Probably Ric Flair. I'd have to put him up there. If I had to watch somebody's promos and matches continuously, and I could only watch one wrestler's, I would say it'd be Ric Flair's. Steelers respect 90. Did Fury really get injured? No. That's a stupid, retarded angle. Okay. It's an absolutely ridiculous angle. Watch it. If you watch it, you'll realize it. What did I think of Taz's commentary on AEW Dark? I did not see AEW Dark. I watched a little bit of it for the Marco Stunt match. I think the first episode, because people were telling me to check it out. And I just have better things to do with my time than watch All Elite Wrestling Dark. But I do predict that once again, they're going to beat NXT in the ratings war for this week's show that took place last night. Now we're 1:07 a.m., but last night I do 100%. I would bet that AEW once again defeated NXT. And I would also predict that AEW's overall viewership will be down again, as well as NXT's. I think the newness is wearing off from that, and they only have so many stars in AEW, and a lot of people that are probably hoping to see more superstars and realizing, oh, it's the same mostly unpolished wrestlers that look like smaller than your average person. Most of them look smaller than your average person. So I think it'll continue to go down, but I'm not against them by any means. But I also am predicting they're going to beat NXT. And what I am following, what I'm most interested in. I'm interested in if they're beating NXT, but so far they've outdrawn Raw 3 weeks in a row. I want to see. I'll find out tomorrow if they outdrew Raw again this week. Last week, the only SmackDown that they haven't outdrawn so far as crowd attendance, was the big SmackDown with The Rock, and they advertised Austin and Hogan on it, but they didn't appear. Which is one of the reasons why I think SmackDown keeps going down in ratings. The very first episode, they advertised people on it that did not appear on the show. So Black Bart says I should call out Tito. I'm doing an interview with Tito next month. He said he would do a Skype interview with me before his fight with Alberto Del Rio. And although Tank Abbott doesn't like Tito, I have nothing against Tito. I enjoyed my time I spent with him when I did my interview with him last year. I have no problem with Tito. I am a reporter. I'm neutral when I'm recording people. Some people hold certain things against me, but I'm neutral for sure. Chris Hannon said Ryback is rumored to maybe go to AEW. Yeah, that'd be a big guy. But again, how much wrestling has he done in the past few years? Does he really have the passion for the business? Is he a big star? No. If he was that big of a star, WWE never would have let him go. So I don't think he'll make much difference long term if he does go to AEW. Some people might check it in for the rating, but let's take a guy like Davey Boy Smith Jr., who's very passionate and is a good all-around wrestler. He's the Hannibal TV champion. There's a good guy that you can actually build up. You don't necessarily need guys that are already established. You could build up, make new stars like WWE did with Goldberg, or like WCW did with Goldberg. Like, I don't think Ryback has the passion for wrestling. If he's been, I don't know how many years he's been off TV, but has any one of you, there's like 12 to 15 of you commenting on this right now, heard of Ryback doing anything on the indie scene noteworthy recently? All I've heard about is he's been getting stem cell therapy, which means he's probably trying to recover from injuries. So there you go. What about Jose Canseco wrestling? I don't think that's going to be a long-term thing. But whatever, I'll watch the match. Somebody who I can't pronounce, Zaristadot or something. Opinion on Roddy Piper's legacy. Greatest heel heat ever. I would think the greatest heel heat ever would be the original Sheik by far. I've heard from everyone that he is the most attacked wrestler of all time, but Roddy Piper certainly was able to get heel heat, something that a lot of people can't get these days. But I can say I've been attacked by fans on multiple occasions, for sure. And yeah. How much are they paying Tyson Fury? 15 million legit. As I said earlier, the rumor is 13 million. And by the way, I mentioned this yesterday, but something else that was horrible from this week on Raw was the Cain Velasquez, Shelton Benjamin segment, where he took him down with, like, here's the one thing I had a problem with right off the get-go. He took Shelton Benjamin down easily with, I believe it was like a single leg type takedown, and Shelton Benjamin is a high caliber amateur wrestler. It's like, at least give Shelton Benjamin a little bit of a fight there on a single leg takedown. And then he takes him down and gives like the fakest looking punches where it was clear that he was just trying to protect Shelton Benjamin. So we saw a few weeks ago Fury giving these phantom punches, missing people by this much, and they're bumping, flying around. So they're putting these guys out there to try and draw like some ratings and interest. But I think when people see that, this phoniness, they just laugh at it. It doesn't make them want to continue watching wrestling. For Cain Velasquez, the other thing I noticed about his segment is the crowd was dead for it. So maybe they should have trained him a little bit more, got him some more seasoning before putting him out in a main event position. But I'm sure they're practicing both Cain Velasquez's and Tyson Fury's matches for Crown Jewel. So there we go. Disco Inferno gets classic heel heat. Yes, but not like the serious heel heat. But yes, Disco Inferno gets heat for sure. I don't know if he gets fan attack heat, but definitely honky tonk man type heat. Tyson Fury versus Cain Velasquez in a shoot would be interesting to see. Yeah, but from what I hear, Cain Velasquez actually needs knee surgery after this match. Supposedly, he's going to try and get stem cell therapy and avoid knee surgery. So that's probably one of the reasons why he didn't continue on in UFC, was because his health is not at 100%. Cain Velasquez would have, it depends. If it was a boxing match, Fury would have such a great advantage. But if it's an MMA match, you know, who knows? Anyone can get a lucky punch in. Fury has reach, but Cain has the shooting power. So there we go.